Hey guys, Marvin here, and today's video is going to be about elemental Shaman macros. There are some enhancement and resto macros in there, so if you're playing any of those two specs, feel free to use them. So yeah, let's get started. First of all, I'm gonna start with my Cleanse Spirit macros. I've got a Cleanse Spirit macro for my mouse over target, I've got a Cleanse Spirit target for me, and I've got a Cleanse Spirit target for my healer. Now, I've got a mouse over macro because I'm used to it, but instead of that you can just put the third member of your party in there or whatever, you know. So in all of those macro, before I've got the cast spell line, I've got two lines of stop casting because sometimes one of the lines just doesn't do it. Next up we have Unleash Elements macro, that's for enhancement. As I said, there are gonna be some enhancement macros in there. I think that's the only one for enhancement, to be honest. But yeah, it's basically a start attack and cast Unleash Elements macro. It's really useful. I don't have a stop casting line in there because you don't really need it. Next up we have our Focus Purge macro. Again, it's got two stop casting lines in it, and after that slash cast target equals focus purge. Next up we have the grounding macro. Now this is a very vital macro because you will need to stop cast before you put your grounding totem down, most of the time, I guarantee it. So yeah, basically have two stop casting lines and after that cast grounding totem. This is a focus hex macro. I don't have stop casting lines in it basically because I don't need them, but if you want to put them in there, feel free to do so. Next up we have an instant cast heal macro, which is for resto. It's basically two lines of stop casting, two lines of cast ancestral swiftness, which is your NS, and two lines of malevolent gladiators badge of dominance. This was a long time ago, I don't know why I even have this in here, I'm just gonna delete it. And after that cast greater healing wave. Next up we have a marks macro. Now this is very important if you're lazy. Why that is you just put the names of the people you want in here, and as you can see, after the name there is a number. What that number symbolizes is which sign you want to have on top of your target. Now the star is 1, circle is 2, diamond is 3, and you see where I'm going with this. So yeah, it's a really awesome macro if you're lazy as me. And yeah, let's get on to the Ascendance macro. I've called this macro one shot. Don't ask me why. It's basically Ascendance with Stormlash Totem, Fire Elemental Totem, and Ancestral Guidance. I don't mainly use Ancestral Guidance, but sometimes as enhancement I do. So feel free to put that in your macro. You won't overuse it. Next up we have macro that is mainly for twos, because if I'm healing in trees I'm gonna be targeting the target I'm healing. This is a macro for enhancement basically, because I won't be targeting my target, because as enhancement the only heals you're going to do are instants. It's basically cast target equals your partner healing surge. Next up we have the Purge macro, and this is very important, especially if you're playing enhancement, because you need to get that pop off. It's very vital. Just put two lines of stop casting before you put the cast Purge line. Next up we have a Spirit Link macro. Again, it's basically two stop casting lines with a Spirit Link totem macro. You can also put a Hailstone in there. Also you can put a Battle Master's insignia in there. You won't regret it, but this is how I prefer to do it. Next up we have the Wind Shear macro, again with two stop casting lines and a Wind Shear, and I've got the target, and after that I've got the Focus Shear macro. There's this guy in my way. Okay, I'm just gonna move from here. If you have free space to put Arena 1, 2 and 3 macros for Wind Shear, you won't regret it. I'm just used to targeting different focuses, switching different focuses, and etc, etc. So yeah, next macro is Totemic Projection with two lines of stop casting. because maybe you will be casting an elemental blast or lava burst before you need to move your capacitor totem. So let's say I'm casting a healing surge and I've got my capacitor totem, I'm looking at it, it's almost loaded and it's a 1 second, I need to move it now, and I move it and it blows up. So yeah, that's why you need the stop casting lines. Now the next macro is Tremor Totem macro, and it's designed specifically for the talent Totemic Restoration. What it does is, when you put down Tremor Totem, it will cancel it right after you put it down. This is really useful against priests and warlocks, and I recommend if you're going against a priest or warlock to go with Totemic Restoration instead of Totemic Projection, instead of some very specific cases, but that's for another time. So I'm gonna do a demonstration of this. As you can see, I'm gonna put down a Tremor Totem, click the macro again, and it's going to reduce the cooldown down by 30 seconds. So you basically have a Tremor Totem on a 30-second cooldown, which is really awesome. And yeah, those are all the macros. They will be in the description for you to copy them. If you have any more suggestions, or if you want me to do something, just put it in the comments below. I hope you guys learned something from this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to throw it a like and a favorite. If you want to see more from me, you can subscribe to my channel. And that's it for this week's video, so see you guys next time. Next up is Tremor Totem macro. This macro is especially for talent Totemic Restoration. Oh shit, can I do this? I can. Okay, let's start recording again.